I want to hear about this Jimmy G thing.
Okay.
Because now I'm intrigued.
All right. Now you're intrigued. We're all over the place.
I watched nothing but Golf Channel yesterday. I'm getting all hyped up for this Open at St. Andrews, the home of golf. So educate me on what happened yesterday with Jimmy G.
Well, I don't think anything happened. Our boy Jeremy Fowler, though.
Is he back at it?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Oh, that's it. I don't know. That's a good question. Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, we brought you on to answer the damn questions. That was the whole point of this interview. Oh, boy, yeah, that's a tricky one. Well, here's his thoughts on the Jimmy G trade and a possible landing spot for Jimmy Garoppolo. Why are we doing this? I have no idea, but we're going to do it anyway. Here's Jeremy Fowler.
Well, Hannah, a few executives I spoke to believe the 49ers are a bit stuck here because they need Garoppolo to pass a physical coming off the shoulder surgery. They need to renegotiate his contract with that new team on that $24 million salary. And the pool of suitors right now seems to be pretty small. Now, a few things that are positives for San Fran. I'm told Garoppolo's recovery has remained on schedule. He should start throwing now, or if he hasn't already, he'll do a ramp-up phase till he can eventually pass that physical. And you have Seattle that's still out there. They were sort of implicated in the Baker Mayfield situation, didn't make that move. I'm told that internally they have discussed the possibility of Garoppolo playing for them. They've done their film work to see how he would fit. Tricky, certainly, to do a trade inside the NFC West. But the 49ers and Seattle know they can maybe sort of wait this out because the 49ers have limited cap space right now. I think around
enough
5
of this guy. Enough.
You did cut the mic?
Enough. He lost me at San Fran, and he starts talking about, he could be throwing. It's a report about a report about nothing. All right, Jeremy Fowler.
So let's boil it down. Jimmy G, because I heard Jimmy G traded to Seattle, possibly if both teams decide to wait it out. So let's boil it down to the lowest essence. Would you be okay with Jimmy G for whatever reason, whether it's release, trade, whatever, going to Seattle?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Let him go to Seattle. Oh, that'd be great. Jimmy Garoppolo in Seattle? Oh, that'd be awesome.
Why would that be awesome?
We know exactly who Jimmy Garoppolo is.
Okay.
You don't think this defense would be salivating at going after Jimmy Garoppolo? Now, sure, he knows the holes in our defense and all that stuff, but DK Metcalf ain't getting no deep shots from Jimmy Garoppolo.
Feels great, baby.
DK and Jimmy would be a very interesting match. I didn't even think of
Tyler
that.
Lockett? Tyler Lockett?
Wow. Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo going to Seattle? This be like Donovan McNabb going from Philly to Washington. Be my guest. I would love to see Jimmy Garoppolo because the home opener is against the Seattle Seahawks in week number 2. Jimmy Garoppolo coming back to Levi Stadium week 2 for the Niners home opener.
Against Trey's first ever home start as the real starter, not just a fill-in. Wow.
Can you imagine if Jimmy won that game?
Well, there's a couple layers to this.
I wouldn't mind it. I don't. And look, I wouldn't mind it. Go ahead. Let Jimmy go wherever he wants to go. Let Jimmy go wherever he wants to go. Why does it matter? Niner fans don't care, right? 888-957-9570. Niner fans. A lot of y'all has wanted Jimmy Garoppolo out of this building for a long, long time. I think it's time to move on for Jimmy Garoppolo. But Niner fans tell me that he stinks, he's a bum, this and that.
Well, that's not. I mean, he's better than a bum. He's not a bum.
You guys always tell me about the bad throws.
He might not be elite, but he's certainly competent. Would we agree there?
I think he's competent.
He's above
I think he can run an offense.
I think on a good day, he's somewhere between 13th, 14th best quarterback in the league. Wow. On a bad day, he's probably lower third.
Wow, 510 Comcast Business Text Line. Jimmy knows this team inside and out. He will torch us.
Really?
From what I've heard over the last 3 years about Jimmy Garoppolo, dating back to Super Bowl 54, doing that postgame show, you and I, right after the loss. Jimmy Garoppolo's a bum. He'll never be a winner, yada, yada, yada. Please don't tell me that there's some of you out there fearing Jimmy Garoppolo, the Seahawk uniform.
It would be an upgrade for Seattle, though, right? We both agree, because I do. He's
better than
yes.
Yeah, Geno Smith. No doubt.
I don't like their offense in general in Seattle because I haven't liked it for many years. I don't really know what they hang their hat on. Like, I just don't. Like, I knew the deep balls with Lockett and Metcalf, but they got away from it, and then they tried to run too much, and then they tried to let Russ cook, and he got hurt. He's an upgrade from Drew Lock, but, like, I guess the bigger question is, what's Seattle looking to do? Just compete?
They want to win, right?
I thought they were bottoming out so they can get one of these top quarterbacks because you got the Ohio State kid coming out.
They lost Bobby Wagner. Where did Bobby Wagner go? To the Rams? He's a Ram now.
The Rams have everyone.
What? Oh, damn.
I thought, don't you know that?
Yeah, I remember he went to the Rams. I just wanted to make sure.
The Rams have everyone.
I tried to erase that from my memory. It was one of those things where Bobby Wagner goes to the Rams. Oh, damn it. And just get away.
I know.
But I probably said some other expletive it. By the way, baby Chaz, got to watch the curse words around her.
Oh, she's picking them up.
The S word.
Oh.
She dropped something the other day. S word. It's like, wait, what? S word again. And I have a thing where something happens, like Brandon Bell strikes out. I drop the S word 3 times. SSS. So she's learning like SSS. I'm like, damn it. I gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. No more cursing. I've been cursing since I was 8 years old, Shasky. Listen, man. Jimmy Garoppolo, Seattle. There's a lot of people out here saying, we don't want that. He knows his team inside and out. It wouldn't be good for the 49ers. How do you feel about it? Shasky, how do you feel about Jimmy Garoppolo possibly landing in Seattle?
This day that they made the trade to jump up to get to number 3 was the day that basically the writing was on the wall for Jimmy G that he was done in San Francisco at some point. This is inevitable. They're going to divorce. At some point, you have to, in any divorce, not worry about what the other person's doing. You need to worry about your life and your team and what you're doing. I would just release him and allow him to go wherever he wants. This thing that we're chasing to get a draft pick, like whatever. If he goes to Seattle, it makes Seattle, a better team. Like instead of like a 5-win team, maybe they're an 8 or 9-win team. Maybe they are. But, like, I have no problem facing him twice a year. I really don't. Like, I just don't. And it's not a knock on Jimmy. I think that lowly of where Seattle is right now. I don't understand what Seattle's trying to do.
All right, well, Larry in San Francisco, he has a thought on this. Larry, what's happening? You're on the roast. You're on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, fellas. First, I want to say this. This is a little bit off my topic. Jeremy Fowler, he's like Grant Cohn, dude. He doesn't have anything to offer other than hate and fake stuff, man. But anyway, Jimmy G to Seattle Seahawks with Pete Carroll. We're gonna get torched, dude. I'm telling you, man. Jimmy G. You give Jimmy G. Jimmy G gives the playbook to Pete Carroll, and we're done with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll will smoke us.
I don't.
Damn, Larry.
I don't understand why he thinks that.
888-957-9570. Larry in San Francisco believes Jimmy Garoppolo in Seattle will be problematic for the 49ers. You agree with Larry? I think it'd be perfect for the Niners. Perfect. You know exactly who Jimmy Garoppolo is. You know exactly what his tendencies are. You've had him in his locker room, in the system since 2017, midway through 2017. Let Jimmy go to. I'm cool with Jimmy going to Seattle. I'm with you, Shasky. Let him go to Seattle.
I'm just not.
And I'm here for the drama. I don't fear Jimmy Garoppolo.
Exactly, and I don't think that's a knock on Jimmy. I think it's also an indictment of just Seattle's current state. Like, who are you fearing in terms of their offensive line and their running game? Because that's what we all know. Like, Jimmy G, to be really good, doesn't Jimmy need to have a solid, balanced running game and a good offensive line?
And their running game is inconsistent, and their offensive line is porous.
And when Jimmy didn't have George Kittle in the lineup, he struggled. He needs that safety net of a tight end. Who's the tight end in Seattle right now?
No clue. I'm going to pull up their depth chart.
The depth chart is not good.
I'm going to pull up their depth chart because we're starting to get cooking off football. They got a bunch of
flamed-out running backs.
Damn, I forgot Bobby Wagner was a damn Ram. That's got me so rattled. Damn, the Rams going to be good again. Tight end for the Seattle Seahawks, Noah Fant. That's right. They got Noah. I mean, he's a good player.
He's left a lot to be desired, though.
His biggest issue is he's injured all the time.
Okay.
He's a damn good player, though.
He's played with bad quarterbacks.
He's played with bad quarterbacks. You give Jimmy Garoppolo Noah Fant?
He was part of that Russell Wilson trade, huh?
Dude.
I forgot about that.
Jimmy with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant?
Now you're a little worried?
It's not a bad offense for Jimmy. You could argue and say that's the best weapons Jimmy's ever had.
No. Better than Kittle and Debo? Debo was maybe the best player in the NFC last year.
DK's a baller.
No, I'm not dismissing that.
Tyler Lockett's a baller.
DK is also crazy. And we've seen what he plays.
He's crazy good.
When it's not Russ, his numbers and Lockett's numbers, because I had both of them in fantasy, MIA. Dude, they're unstartable.
Well, the quarterback's terrible.
Yeah, Geno Smith was...
I had DK, too. I couldn't get off of him. Killed my season.
Destroyed my season.
I invested in DK in 3 different leagues. All right? Rashad Penny. Kenneth Walker III, the running back from Michigan State. He's not bad.
We'll see.
We'll see. Wow. Calls are lined up. We'll get to him in just a second. Here's what Rich Orenberger down in San Diego. My guy from the mighty 10
Wait.
Rich Orenberger.
Was he on with Willard?
Of course he was.
It's like the bat phone for him.
Dude, of course he was.
All right, give it to me.
Hold on. I'll make sure I got his station right because I've been on the show a few times.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, not a flex. Yeah, extra 1360. My bad. Extra 1360 down in San Diego. Rich Orenberger, former Charger. Here's what he had to say yesterday on Willard and Dibs on Jimmy G staying in San Francisco.
He rides off in the distance in free agency and you part ways amicably. But if you need him, he's still there and you didn't get beat on a trade. So I agree with that assessment. I don't think this has anything to do with his throwing shoulder surgery. I think this is the 49ers trying to create a market for Jimmy G that's not there to convince Trey Lance that he's the guy. And, oh, by the way, they have an excellent backup plan because that backup plan has led you to 2 NFC championship games. I think the 49ers are sneakily in the catbird seat here because they're getting the most out of their future quarterback this offseason in terms of putting a ton of belief into him. And they also have a backup plan in Jimmy G if all doesn't pan out in trade requests.
Jimmy Garoppolo, the ultimate backup plan for the 49ers. I can't believe, I was getting on you in May and April about Jimmy G being here. And I'm like, Shasky, don't worry. Jimmy G, who cares? Jimmy G's going to be gone. But it's July 12th. And players report in 14 days.
I'm telling you,
Jimmy's still on the roster and he's still here. It's kind of comical that he's still officially on the roster. And now I'm just like, what is going to happen here in 2 weeks?
So I've got like storylines for the 49ers.
Oh, yeah, Allen Robinson is a rib.
I've got all these storylines for the 49ers, right? And the number one for me, before anything can happen, is Jimmy G needs to be off this team, right? If we want to make moves. Debo still has yet to get his contract extension. Nick Bosa, we haven't even begun negotiations with him. All right, what does Trey Lance look like? Like, there's so many questions on this team. I would like to have one answered in the next 5 days of, Jimmy G's not here anymore. Like, I don't understand why we keep going through this thing so that we could, salvage a 4th or 5th or 6th round pick? Like, no team in the league is trading $10 million of whatever to eat somebody's salary so they can get a 4th or 5th round pick. Yeah. That's bad business.
That's terrible business. Terrible business. Isn't it just, at this point, just wash your hands? We're 2 weeks away and he's still on the roster.
I don't understand.
What if he does come to training camp? What if he reports to Santa Clara?
The part that's maddening for me, they already won the trade. You won the trade with New England when you got 5 years of good service out of Jimmy G, and you went to 2 NFC championship games, and one of them was a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You won that trade. You do that deal all day. You overpaid for him and gave him money as a free agent instead of giving him the franchise tag. Yep. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. And I'm happy that they did it. And everything, you won the trade. Yep. Why do you have to chase recouping something on the back end?
I don't know what they're doing. I don't even know if they're trying to chase it. I don't know what the plan is. We talk about the plan with the Giants all the time. What's Farhan's plan? What's the plan with Jimmy Garoppolo? What is the actual plan?
I don't know.
I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if they're trying to send him. What's Don Yee want? What does Jimmy want? What does Jimmy want?
Don Yee'd out.
Listen.
Don Yee, Jimmy G's agent. I'm so
honestly believe this.
Done with him.
I'm starting to believe this. I think Jimmy doesn't want to go anywhere because Jimmy realizes under Kyle Shanahan, he'll never look any better anywhere else. 1. 2, this team is ready to win and win big. He knows that. He doesn't want to leave this situation. It's perfect. He's got Debo. He's got Kittle. He's got Ayuk. He's got a running game. He's got a great defense. Special teams going to be upgraded. Jimmy's probably thinking, I don't want to leave. Is there any way I can compete with Trey Lance? Can I compete with Trey Lance? Maybe that's what he wants. By the way, some of the comments on YouTube, Tyler Miller, Rita Oak is about to catch arthritis from all the drawings of Jimmy G. She's running out of paper.
She's the artist who's been drawing every day that Jimmy G's still on the team. She's drawing a different piece of artwork every single day.
What if Jimmy just doesn't want to leave? What if that's the sticky point? What if that's the fight?
I mean, Joe Montana didn't want to leave, and Joe Montana had the equity of 4 Super Bowls and being the greatest quarterback in the franchise's history. And at some point, they had to turn the page. Look, as a business, which is what they are, they're a business, and they're trying to win, right? They're also a sports team. You've already invested in Trey Lance. You have to see what you have. You've got to see what you have.
Yeah.
And also, it's financially beneficial to you, even if there is a tiny drop-off in production, the flexibility it allows you to make moves on the roster and pay some of these other guys who clearly are better at what they do than what Jimmy is at what he does. Like, it is so beneficial for them to move off of Jimmy, to pay Debo, to pay Nick Bosa, and have clarity there. The worst thing that they could do this year is create chaos with their quarterback, and that trickle in to the negotiations with Debo Samuel and the extension talks with Nick Bosa. That could be a nightmare.
You know what it'd be great for? Sports Talk Radio.
It'd be a nightmare.
Sports Talk Radio wouldn't be a nightmare.
Porn star, Jimmy.
You imagine the first video coming out from 49ers.com.
Feels great, baby.
It is Jimmy Garoppolo in that black number 10 jersey alongside Trey Lance, and they're throwing in slow motion.
In practice?
No, when they got like the Pardon Me. What's that song that we heard in training camp that we keep bumping? Pardon Me?
Yeah.
With Gunna and Future. Pardon Me. Then it slaps. And they throw it on the 49ers Instagram page. And it's Jimmy and Trey Lance throwing in slow motion at the first day of training camp. Could you imagine that?
But if that was...
I'd call from Europe if that happened.
If that was the case, then why are you paying Sudfeld a guaranteed 2-year contract?
I have no idea.
You don't want to get me started, dude.
Let's go to Jeremy in San Jose. Jeremy.
I wish my wife loved me as much as the Jimmy G Truthers love him. I really do.
It's all bad. Who's worse, Jimmy G Truthers or Brandon Belt Truthers?
They're just on different levels. But Brandon Belt, I mean, the jury's out. I mean, come on. We've already made a decision. The gavel is struck.
Jeremy in San Jose. What's up, man? You're on the roast.
Hey, good morning, y'all. How you doing?
I'm good.
Seattle does not want Jimmy G. At the end of the day, Jimmy G has proven that he can't win the big game. He's done it twice now, or taken them to a couple Super Bowls, a couple NFC championships. At the end of the day, we want to win, and the recipe for winning is drafting a young guy and building the team around the young guy, getting the Super Bowl. We did it with Russell Wilson.
Jeremy,
2014. Yes.
How do you know whether or not Seattle doesn't want Jimmy Garoppolo? Are you tapped in with Seattle?
I'm all the way tapped in.
Oh, yeah, really? You're a Seahawks fan?
I'm a big-time Seahawks fan.
Wow. So you wouldn't want anything to do with Jimmy Garoppolo?
And doesn't it feel like you guys are bottoming out so you can get one of these top quarterbacks that are coming out?
That's how I feel. We have 2 first-round draft picks next year.
Yeah.
I think if anything, we can move up in the draft and possibly pick top 5. I honestly think we're a bottom 5 roster this year. Unfortunately, being realistically, I see about 5 games that are on our schedule that are realistic wins for us right now.
Wow. So Seahawk fan doesn't want Jimmy Garoppolo.
All right. So the 3 years that Jimmy G's been with the 49ers, 2019, 2020, 2021, the last 3 years, 54 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, sacked 76 times. Now, they are 25-12. Now, you want to say that quarterback wins aren't a thing, whatever. They do win, B. I don't dismiss that. He averages about, when he's fully healthy for the whole year, 3,800 yards. These are like... This is like what I'm expecting a second-year player to do in a good system.
But to be fair to Jimmy, he didn't play his first 4 years. He comes midway through the season in 2017, and everybody says, it takes 2 years to get down Shanahan's playbook. It's so complicated. It's so sophisticated. Shanahan's this wizard. You got to get the playbook down. His first full year, Niners go to the Super Bowl. He gets hurt in 2020. The ankle gets banged up. We know what happens. He gets hurt, comes back in 20. And look, he was banged up last year, but the fact is they were in the NFC Championship game. Now, we both were at the playoff games. I was at the Dallas game. We know how last year played out. They got to the NFC Championship in spite of Jimmy Garoppolo. I truly believe that. Now, was he good in Week 18? Sure, he was. But he wasn't good against the Tennessee Titans, and he didn't play against the Houston Texans. And they got to have a game in Levi Stadium. Look, man, you got to move off from Jimmy G. I'm done with the Jimmy G thing. I'm done with it. But what if he is back in camp? What if he is back?
I think it'll be chaos. Don't you? Like, it'll be so chaotic.
The NFL's always chaotic.
And this isn't about, like, Trey Lance being emotionally prepared to be able to handle it. He handled it last year totally fine. I think he's totally mature. I think he's wise beyond his years. I think he's going to have a great year. I'm really excited for Trey Lance. It's just, aren't we on to bigger and better things? Isn't this team about winning a Super Bowl?
Well,
isn't this team about, like, paying Deebo Samuel? Have we forgotten about that drama? What about the Nick Bosa situation?
Are they closer to winning a Super Bowl with Trey Lance getting the keys to the car?
I think this team asks the least of its quarterback of all the top contending teams. This is one of the teams that asks the absolute bare minimum from their quarterback.
But at the same time, you need a little more from your quarterback in big money situations.
No doubt. But again, look at the throw charts for Jimmy Garoppolo and watch the games. That's not who he is.
Yeah.
He's going to throw over the middle. He's going to throw underneath. And you can do all of those things with Trey Lance and hopefully hit one or two passes over the top. Hit a couple passes outside the numbers. Extend this offense.
What do you say to the people who say, like our boy Liberty Eli? Liberty Eli. Shanahan was 2-9 before Jimmy. Jimmy made Shanahan. Jimmy made Kyle Shanahan.
This was an expansion roster when Kyle Shanahan took over.
Jimmy came in 2017 and won 5 games.
They paid someone
Same roster that was winless. Same roster that was winless. Jimmy came and won 5 games with.
No doubt. And we ended up finding out a little more about that Jacksonville team as the bottom fell out from, even though they went to the AFC Championship game that year. And Tennessee was going through transitions. Like,
they made the playoffs, though.
Stink.
The Titans were good. They made the playoffs. They lost to the Patriots.
I mean, whatever.
I'm just saying, it is what it is.
Hey, look, they won games. I'm not denying that they won games. He's a competent quarterback. You're going to win games with him. But, like, they made this decision to try to elevate down the line. This isn't about just winning in week 1. This is about week 16, Trey being better and bigger and stronger and more confident. And so that when he hits the playoffs, maybe I could throw a ball past 12 yards.
Let's go to George in Los Santos. George, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, gentlemen. I just want to ask you guys a question to see what your point of view is on this, because I always respect what you guys have to say. And Bonta, I know how you feel about Jimmy. I think it's really clear on that.
How do I feel?
Let me ask you.
No, I like Jimmy. I like Jimmy. I don't want to make it out that I hate Jimmy Garoppolo. I was pro Jimmy over Tom Brady. I'll admit that right now. I like Jimmy. He deserved another shot. But you know, Trey's here.
That's fair. No, you're right.
You know,
you just don't think it's right for him right now in this team.
Exactly.
So let me ask you a question. If Jimmy agreed to restructure his contract with the 49ers, and thereby allowing us some space, and Joe, you're the genius on this. I don't know if that's even possible contractually, but let's say he agreed to restructure his contract and make it attractive for the Niners so that he could stay on the team and be a backup to Trey Lance going into game 1. Would you do that if you were Lynch?
Idealistically, like, it sounds great to say, but, like, let me use the Baker Mayfield thing for an example. He was set to make about $17-18 million this year on the 5th-year option, which is from being drafted number 1 overall, okay? The Browns ate $10 million of that. Then the Carolina Panthers said, you need to take a $3 million pay cut. He's making about $3 million this year to be a backup or compete for the starting job. So Jimmy Garoppolo is set to make whatever, $25 million. Right. Is he restructuring down to $3 million?
Probably not.
Right?
Probably not.
So am I paying Jimmy G $12 million a year to be a backup? No, I'm not. The whole point of having a quarterback on a rookie quarterback salary is to suppress the money at the most important position and spread the wealth amongst the rest of the team. Pay Deebo Samuel. Pay Nick Bosa.
But and I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I'm playing devil's advocate. We're just having a conversation about Joey Barton. Now I'm saying, hey, move him up to the top of the lineup. He said, you know what? You have to earn that.
Okay.
What do you say to the people who say Trey Lance has to earn the starting job? And he should compete in training camp with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, you could do that. I have no problem if you do that. If I didn't have a giant Deebo extension hanging over my head with Nick Bosa.
Forget the extension has nothing to do with that.
I do. I think they're all connected.
The extension has nothing to do with it.
Because right now
he's going to get his money.
Well, right
he's
now
going to get his money.
They want to spread guaranteed money over multiple years.
I hear you.
And so now the money is accounted for on the front end via the Jimmy Garoppolo money. So until until they figure out how to shed that money, it's going to be really tricky to give guaranteed money spread out over multiple years because you amortize these guarantees.
But you can still compete in training camp while you work on that process. You work on those guarantees. You work on those contracts. You can still have Jimmy come to camp. You can still have him compete.
In an ideal world, that sounds great, and I agree with you. But
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
is you're also running the risk of alienating Debo. Every single day that goes by that Debo doesn't get an extension,
Debo's going to get his money.
Okay.
Debo's going to get his money.
If I'm his agent, I'm saying, you are absolutely not participating in training camp until you get guaranteed money. You could pop your knee at any practice.
Okay.
You could tear an Achilles like Michael Crabtree did at practice.
Okay, so Debo holds out.
That's not good for my starting quarterback.
That's not good.
And the chemistry and the synergy there.
But you can still bring Jimmy back to compete with Trey Lance, right? Because it goes back to not giving. What did Kyle Shanahan say? What do we always talk about? Go earn your spot. Has Trey Lance earned a starting job yet?
No, I'm with you on that.
So what's wrong with competing?
But there's also a reality of, hey, yes, you have to earn it, and you will through time, but also we drafted you number 3 overall. So, like, both things are true simultaneously. We have to flip to them. If they didn't have the Debo extension where he just went completely crazy, I would look at this differently. But they have that money that they have to give him.
I don't believe that has anything to do with the Jimmy Garoppolo situation at all.
Well, then why are we waiting on the Jimmy?
Didn't John Lynch and them tell us? We got the Debo extension counted for. We've got that money set aside. Jimmy, Debo have nothing to do with each other. So if you bring Jimmy to camp while you work on a Debo contract and say he's not he doesn't report to camp.
And you're doing your books, I don't believe that. See, I believe that the Jimmy Garoppolo money is accounted for because when you give someone a guaranteed contract, you have to have that money to put in escrow immediately, and you amortize
I understand all
of the guaranteed bonuses over multiple years so that you can have wiggle room in terms of salary cap flexibility.
I understand all that. But Debo may not come to camp anyway before that deal is signed, right? So he doesn't come.
That's not good for whoever.
But how is that stopping Jimmy? What if I'm just saying, Jimmy, have Jimmy come to camp and compete, right? Because we don't want to just give starting jobs away. Why Joey Bart isn't batting second?
Here's the other element.
Well, he's got to earn that.
Well,
what about Trey Lance earning the starting job? I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Okay, so let's say that he does come to camp. How many snaps am I giving him? How many reps am I giving him? Can we all agree, whether you're the biggest or worst supporter of Trey Lance, he needs every possible rep that he can get. Arm fatigue be damned. He needs to build synergy with whoever the center is, with whoever the rest of the offensive line is, all of the wide receivers, all of the running backs and tight ends. I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo eating any of his reps. That's where I'm at, because this thing about Shanahan and Lynch, it only works if Trey Lance is a star. Anything less, and they're going to get ran out of town.